Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel where we are once again doing another speed drawing video, and it's also another Patreon request video. So thank you so much to my Patreon Colin for requesting this video, and also for requesting that I draw it live on Twitch. It's only a coincidence that I just managed to get this particular piece of footage edited down and that you requested it at the same time. So here we are with Grand Moff Tarkin. Now, I admit this is probably more clone era Tarkin because I'm not very good at drawing realistic faces, and Peter Cushing is one of my favourite actors of all time. Did a wonderful Sherlock Holmes. Moff Tarkin is one of my favourite villains of Star Wars, even more than Vader. He's just such an interesting character, and there's so many little tidbits of information about him that makes him really ridiculously cool to me. So I'm going to dive straight in. Essentially, he was born and raised on a planet called Eriadu, which is a planet in the Outer Rim very, very close to Naboo. Weirdly, you think of Naboo, you think of Coruscant, and it's kind of close to the center of the galaxy, but that's not the case. It's really weird. The map of Star Wars is odd, and I don't quite understand how some planets are considered in a ring when they're really far away and some aren't. It's very odd, very weird. Love it, but at the same time, very strange. And Eriadu was considered a backwater planet, but the Tarkin bloodline was one of the richest, strongest family bloodlines in this particular sector. They made their money off offering protection for the people and the miners of Eriadu, and then eventually became governors and people of merit, and they had their families grow up to become governors, senators, and all that kind of thing. And Tarkin, in his time, has actually been all three. Surprising, I know. He has been a senator, or he was a politician. I wouldn't say he's a senator, actually. That was dumb of me to say. He was a politician. He was a captain in the army, and he has also been a governor, and then he was moved to a Grand Moff. What does Grand Moff mean? Well, he was put in charge of a large section of the Empire and told to control it and deal with it. And so therefore he was put in charge of people like Krennic, who created the Death Star, and then Tarkin stole it as if it was his own idea, because Tarkin is a bit of a thief, but in his own way. Now, like most proper villains, Tarkin doesn't consider himself evil. Vader knows that he's done wrong, and he thinks that he doesn't deserve to be redeemed for it, which is one of the things that Vader regularly grapples with in quite a lot of the comics, if you read them properly. Tarkin, however, thinks that nothing that he's done has been wrong or done for the wrong reasons. He completely, wholeheartedly believes that people, the weak, need to be governed by the strong, and to do that, the weak need to be punished when they step out of line. That's his reasoning. It's a crazy reasoning, but he's a very, very weird man. Now, his childhood was very warped, as most of the Tarkin family bloodlines was. There is this mountain range that belongs to the Tarkins on their family home of Eriadu, called the Carrion Spire. Now, the Tarkin family heads send their children there to grow up and essentially train and learn how things work. So Tarkin in his own right is actually a very capable warrior, a very capable tactician, and someone who is very, very dangerous to the rebellion. And he wholeheartedly believes in the Emperor's wishes. Also, he's scarily one of about 4 people who work out during his lifetime who Vader was, or / is, and also figure out that the Emperor and Vader are Sith before they officially come out with the term Sith. Because I know in the first film, Vader's a Sith, but the Emperor is never kind of described as being a Sith. And I know that in some of the original writings that George Lucas was doing, the Emperor was going to be someone that was being kind of manipulated by the Sith, and they were a background thing, which I think would have been quite an interesting thing to have done. But the way he was written now works really well, and Tarkin is a really interesting character to me because he doesn't have the powers of Vader or the Emperor, but he's manipulative as the Emperor and as solid a strong fighter as Vader. Obviously, as they get older, Vader has the added benefit of like being to overcome old age by, you know, augmenting his abilities with cybernetics, but Tarkin doesn't have that, so he does kind of regress, that's the better word, in his old age. If you want to learn more about Tarkin, though, I highly recommend the audiobook. The gentleman that I can't remember the name of the gentleman that does the narration, but he has a very, very good Tarkin voice. Does a very good, it's not quite Peter Cushing, but it's very close. There's a lot of like good nuance in his narration, so I do recommend that. Anyway, thank you everybody so much for watching. I'm sorry that this one's a bit shorter, but it was a very quick drawing to do. I was quite proud of how this one came together. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Take care, have fun, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.